Ever get stuck in a thought spiral that won't let go? You know, the kind where one small thing goes wrong, and suddenly your brain decides to produce a full-blown disaster movie starring you as the failure. Maybe it's a comment from a coworker, a weird look from someone, or just your own voice telling you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or doing enough. Negative thoughts can hit out of nowhere, and they stick. But what if you could interrupt that pattern with two simple questions? Questions so powerful, they can short-circuit the cycle and bring you back to clarity. We spend a lot of time trying to fix our negative thinking by adding things: affirmations, positivity, motivational podcasts. But what actually works? Not adding more noise, but getting quiet enough to ask the right questions. So let's start with the first one. Is this thought useful? Not true, not positive, not whether it's kind, just useful. Your brain produces thousands of thoughts a day. Some are random, some are dramatic, and some are deeply unhelpful. Let's say you mess up a presentation, and your mind starts repeating, "I always mess things up. I'm not cut out for this." You could debate whether that thought is true, which will spiral into more overthinking. Or you could just stop and ask, is this thought useful? Will it help you do better next time? Will it motivate you to prepare more or try again? If not, it's mental clutter. A waste of energy. A self-sabotaging voice pretending to be helpful. We often treat our thoughts like facts, but not all thoughts deserve airtime. Just because your mind said it doesn't mean you have to believe it, or even listen. 2. How does this thought behave? This second question changes the game, because we usually judge our thoughts by their content, what they say. But this question asks you to look at the impact instead. Let's say you're thinking, "I'll never be successful." Instead of trying to replace it with a positive thought, just pause and ask, how does this thought behave? Does it make you small, stressed, numb, angry? Does it lead you to take action, or keep you stuck? You're not judging whether the thought is good or bad. You're observing its effect on your body, your choices, your energy. When you look at a thought like a behavior rather than a truth, you stop arguing with it and start choosing whether to keep feeding it. Why do these questions work? These two questions work because they cut through the noise. Instead of getting dragged into debating or suppressing your negative thoughts, you're becoming curious about them. Curiosity is powerful. It creates space. It pulls you out of the autopilot mode, where thoughts run wild and emotions follow blindly. Suddenly, instead of being in the storm, you're watching it from the outside. And from that place, you get your power back. You don't need to wrestle your negative thoughts to the ground. You just need to stop giving them the microphone. Most people try to fix their thoughts. Don't. Here's the trap. We think we need to fix our negative thoughts to feel better. So we analyze them, argue with them, drown them in positivity. But that just gives them more attention. It turns a passing idea into a full-blown identity. By asking, is this useful? And how does this behave? You're not trying to fix the thought. You're deciding whether it's even worth your time. And the truth is, most of them aren't. Your thoughts are not you. One of the most freeing realizations is this: your thoughts are not you. They're patterns, habits, old loops picked up from childhood, past mistakes, other people's voices. And they can run your life if you don't notice them. These two questions create a pause. And in that pause, you get to decide, is this helpful? Is this thought making me better or bitter? Is it building my future or dragging me back into my past? When you separate yourself from your thoughts, you stop being controlled by them. You move from being reactive to being responsive, from feeling stuck to seeing clearly. You don't need to think positive, just think clearly. This isn't about fake positivity. It's not about replacing every negative thought with a motivational quote. It's about clarity, usefulness, intention. Let's say you're about to do something new, and the thought pops in, I'm probably going to fail. Instead of panicking or forcing yourself to say, no, I'll be amazing, you ask, is this thought useful? If it leads you to prepare more or focus, maybe yes. But if it just makes you anxious and freeze, then no, let it go. Not by force, by choice. How does it behave? If it shuts you down, it's not a thought worth holding. Practicing this daily, like any tool, this takes practice. You won't catch every negative thought, but the more you ask these two questions, the more natural it becomes. In traffic, in meetings, during late-night spirals, you'll catch yourself. You'll pause, and you'll choose. Not every thought deserves your energy. Not every internal voice gets to run your day. Some thoughts behave like bullies. Some behave like anchors. Some behave like old programming that no longer fits the person you're becoming. You don't need to destroy them. You just need to stop feeding them. 2 questions. Is this useful? How does it behave? Ask them often. Ask them quietly. Ask them when it matters most. And watch what happens when your mind gets quiet enough for you to actually hear what matters. Because behind the noise, your clarity is waiting. If you found this video meaningful, drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be having negative thoughts. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.